What's good, YouTube land? So where do we go from Megatron? How about a tiny little dino? And also, play the theme song again. Yes! So this is the other core class revealed in Wave 1. It's a Vertebreak. And this is also, I believe, the last Kingdom review for Wave 1. Because I've reviewed everything. Except the re-release of Earthrise Optimus Prime, because I don't really feel like buying him twice unless he's in a different color scheme. That Shattered Glass one looks really good to me. And that Shattered Glass Ratchet also looks just minty. But, yes. The second brand new character introduced into the Beast Wars mythos. And there's a picture of her right there. Indeed, it is a she. So it's core class now instead of Legends. Or Legions, or whatever you want to call it. There's pictures of her on the back. And things. She is a Predacon. Yeah. Here is our tiny, adorable little dino daughter, Vertebreak. And she is based off a Dracorex, which, is that a real dinosaur? I'm not a dino nerd. Dinosaurs are cool, but, like, I'm not the one to say whether this is an actual real dinosaur or just a young form of a different dinosaur. That's for you guys to argue about in the comment section. I'm just here to say, hey, look, it's a toy. And it looks really cool. And it does, indeed, look really cool. Especially that face. There's a lot of personality, surprisingly, in a skeletal head like this. Give you a good look at all the scaly detail. Now, some people might not be a big fan of monochrome. I think it actually works in this because, you know, this is close to what a fossil kind of looks like. Kind of looks like shit, but in a good kind of way. See, I don't know, I'm just a fan of her. One thing she shares with Rat Trap, unfortunately, is her hands form crap catcher right there, unfortunately. But that's a tiny little thing. So here's a comparison with the other fossilizer, with the Paleo Trex. Yes. And they look good together. We do have more fossilizers coming in the future. We're actually getting a repaint of this, multiple repaints of this. One as friggin' Protoform. That was the character's name, right? Protoform. That Scavenger. Was it Scavenger? No, it's freaking. You remember that whole thing? She was a Protoform. She blew herself up because no, it was Rampage. And what was the Maximal's name? Not. I'm thinking deep something aquatic. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Maybe I'll remember it, but they fought over her. She ended up blowing herself up. So yeah, they're repainting that into the protoform into her, and they're also doing a translucent purple one for whatever reason. But we do also have more unique molds along the way, especially one in Wave 2. So, honestly, I wish they'd given her a character, like a personality, like a bio on the box, because we know absolutely nothing about her. One can assume she might be in the Kingdom Netflix show. I have not watched Siege, and I have not watched Netflix. I meant Earthrise, although I don't have Netflix, so I haven't watched any Netflix, but I'm probably not going to watch Kingdom, honestly. But yeah, I wish I knew anything about her personality, because at the moment she doesn't really have one. She has to share the name Vertebreak with at least two other characters. There was a snake transformer in RID 2015 called Vertebreak, who's obviously not this, not her. And there was a beast in Prime Beast Hunters that had the name Vertebreak. But neither of them obviously are her. So, anything else? Let's take a look. Give you a good shot of all the detail. We won't go too far into articulation in this mode. The head can hinge up and the mouth can open that far. And hilariously, she has a barcode, not a barcode. She has a product code as a tongue. That's an amusing place to put that. And her hips are ball jointed. She's got a knee hinge and a ball joint at the ankle. She has this joint for transformation, but we'll talk about this posability in robot mode. And she also has a tail swivel, which I can never figure out which way the tail is supposed to go. That way up or that way down. So, Dino mode, very nice. Very little kibble. Unfortunately, you can see the arms underneath, but that's alright. So overall, this Dino mode is Dynamite. So, let's transform. So I guess Vertebreak Terrorize? So start by moving the tail. It's a very simple Beast Wars standard. Fold the legs down. Flip the arms back. Flip the other arms out. Like that. You want to come to her spine. Peel it open. And rotate her head down. Along with flipping that flap. And flip up to her robot head. And close the two things together. And there you have Vertebreak in her robot mode. Very, very simple transformation. I completely understand with a toy this small. There's not really much else you can do with it. And plus, I like that quick and simple 10-second transformation. It gets you to the robot mode quickly. It does mean it's kind of got that unfortunate case of a dinosaur standing up, but not too much. Really only in the legs. Do you see it? The legs are really spindly and bony, which I guess works for her. Because I guess she's not a muscular female. She's a little tiny. No, I sound pretentious doing that. Never mind. Give you a shot of the head sculpt. Very nice head sculpt. I like her goggled appearance. The red eyes hide, like you can actually see the goggles molded in. Her kind of pointy helmet gives her a somewhat unique appearance. I like. Trying to think of what it reminds me of, but like a trowel, maybe. The back of her head kind of does look like a trowel, just missing its handle, kind of. And in robot mode, I like the amount of silver it's given to her. Breaks it up just enough. And you can see her Predacon symbol right there. Kind of try... you know what I could say? She's literally got a dino mouth for she's got a dino crotch. A lot of beast formers end up with the dino hand, like Megatron and stuff like that. She's got a dino crotch. I don't really need to say much more than dino crotch. Imagine trying to be in a relationship with her. I don't think that would go over too well. Who knows? Maybe she follows in the styles of Black Widow spiders. Speaking of, here's a comparison to the other female released in this line so far, Black Arachnia. I have yet to get Air Razor, but I will as soon as I can. There's the two fembots. And articulation. Head is on a ball joint with a hinge so she can go look all the way up. Every ball joint's a swivel. Swivel here at the ball joint in the shoulder. And then the ball joint at the elbow. In the ball joint at the hip. Allows for very nice range. You see the hinge at the knee, which we talked about. And the ball jointed ankle gives very nice posability. So overall, for her tiny package, she comes across very well. I like her a lot. She's simple, but efficient. She definitely feels like a toy you can give to anyone, like a little kid to play with. Like, she's fun, quick, and she holds her tail as a sword very well, given all the ball joints. Goes over shoulder very nicely. I like the beast mode hands silhouette there. It's kind of like, making her appear bigger than she is, kind of giving that vibe, like, I'm gonna fuck you up kind of vibe. Like, you don't want to mess with her. She's got a freaking arm sprouting off her back. But you also have a tiny bit of weapon storage. You can take those sort of pegs right there, that sort of clip-looking thing, and she has a spot right on the back right there that you can sort of plug the sword into, if I can get it correctly. It's not the strongest connection, but there, she has weapon storage. Oh, and the weapon has a tiny 3mm peg. Where's the weapon? At its hilt for an effect part, I guess. Although I don't know why you would put an effect part there, because honestly, it doesn't do any good in either mode. She's not going to hold the sword. Like, an effect part on a melee weapon really doesn't make sense, because, yeah, that just looks really dumb. So, I'm going to forget about that forever. So, I'm happy to see more female characters in Beast Wars. And I hope this trend continues past Air Razor. Like, I hope we get more females introduced, because, women can fight too, and a lot of the time, women are stronger than men. So, they deserve the chance to be sold as toys and fought in I'm trying to think. What's the word I'm looking for? Not fake, but like something similar. In fiction. In fiction, they should be allowed to fight in fictional wars. Hopefully, we don't have any real wars, so nobody has to fight, but they're allowed to fight there too. I'm rambling about. She also has an ass. As in, legitimately, she just has a hole. You could leave the tail there if you want a sort of rude mode. No, she doesn't. She's above that. She holds her weapon proudly, ready to kill anyone that dares come near her. Also, I like how very simple her transformation, but also very clean her transformation is. Barely anything that you would actually call kibble. Like, I wouldn't even refer to these as kibble. So, yeah. Thinking about Kingdom going forward. I'm not getting the Ultra Magnus leader class because I have Siege Ultra Magnus, and I prefer, honestly, the RID homaging space alt mode when compared to the more G1 centric, more G1 stylized remold of him. Like, the remold doesn't do enough for me to make me want it more than the one I already have. So I'm not likely to get it. Ooh, they showed off a red repaint of Megatron T-Rex. So I'm probably going to get that T-Rex. Oh, I wanted to show off here. Let me do one. Oh, let me transform her back. Actually, I wanted to show off these two in robot mode together, and I'd completely forgotten. And let me see how long it takes to disassemble him. And personally, I don't actually mind that she doesn't do the armor thing. I actually like the fact that they each have their own style. Like they don't need to have like the same gimmick. Like the what's his name? The one that's in Wave 2. That's fine with him being a fossilizer. When I think it would have just got in the way if Vertebreak was also a fossilizer. It's a bit like too much for a core side, but she can hold. From what I've seen, she can hold the weaponizer form of, or the fossilizer form of this guy pretty decently. So, yeah, I'm still this guy, this robot mode. I still don't know how I feel about it. It's hilarious. Don't get me wrong, but like, I still trying to think of how I feel about it, and how I infinitely prefer him in his beast mode. And I guess I'm also just padding here. Padding, 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 padding. There you go. There are the two of them. They look good as a team. And I want to transform her back because I forgot to show something off. Luckily, she's a very fast transformation. If I can get it properly. Come on. The only thing I guess I could nitpick on the beast mode is it doesn't feel like the robot hands or the robot arms want to peg in very securely. But that feels like a very small nitpick. But there we go. So I forgot to do this comparison. Here's the other, a previous Legends class toy of a similar design. It's a Dinobot Slash. And Syndosaur. So, again, I'm not gonna. Well, why not? To pad out the video even more, let's show them in robot mode. You know, I've thought about the review for this, on how I think my thoughts on this have somewhat changed. Well, slightly changed on this design since its release. It's not a horrible design, it's just there are things I wish they did slightly differently. The biggest one being the kibble right on her ass. So here. There you go with Power of the Primes Legends class versus Kingdom Core class. Yeah, basically the same size range, just there you go. Syndosaur. I'm happy we randomly got a Syndosaur. God knows that was a surprise, but a lot of things recently have been surprises. And honestly, the biggest, if I go back and watch that video, my biggest issue is still with this version of the mold is how they didn't continue the helmet design through the rest of her head. Like, it just, my opinion, doesn't look good. But there's another comparison for you. So, yep. I do recommend her. Like, she's a good toy, but if you're, I don't know, only looking for the original cast, I don't want to say skip on her because obviously you shouldn't, but like, you might be less interested in picking her up. But I still think she's worth it anyway. She's a tiny little destroyer. I feel like I'm patronizing no matter what I say, so I'm just gonna shut up and say thank you for watching. You should get a Vertebreak, or she will break you. So until next time, keep it weird. Bye. I don't have any other dino puns to wrap up, so oh well.